What's going on, guys? AJ Good here at the House of Buckets, and I'm not even sure if you can see me. I'm still working with a broken camera. Anyways, in today's video, I'm going to be showing off my Buckethead Bucket collection. Because let's be real, who wants to see a mask video? So as you can see, I've got laid out here some buckets that Buckethead has used. Some of these I have recently acquired, so they're probably still pretty fresh in your memory, and others are a few years old. But I am just going to, one by one, go through them, show them off, talk about them a little bit, when they were used, how rare they are, etc. And that will be today's video on my channel about masks. Hope you guys enjoy it. So I'm going to be starting out with the first Buckethead bucket that I have in my collection. As far as I know, this would have been the first one that I own that Buckethead actually used. He used this back in the Deli days. This is like a 70s and 80s bucket. Super bland and boring design, but for some reason it really works with Buckethead's Deli look. He had a few buckets back in the Deli era. I would say that this is the most notable. Some of the other ones aren't even KFC buckets, and sometimes he didn't even wear a bucket. This is one of the first buckets I ever purchased for the purpose of Buckethead collecting. I actually got it in a lot with a 90s KFC bucket, and I paid a lot of fucking money for him, and that was back in like 2013, 2014. I felt really silly for spending the money on these, but I was so happy to have actual Buckethead buckets. So I refer to this one as the Deli bucket or the Basement Sessions bucket. You can see somebody with Buckethead playing with this bucket in the foreground of the camera while Buckethead is going berserk on a keyboard. So there's the first. Next up, we have my creme de la creme of Buckethead collecting. Two authentic 90s KFC buckets. People would absolutely cut their fucking arms off to own these. I had one for quite some time that I paid a lot of money for on eBay. Definitely came from a Buckethead collector, so I paid their price. This is the one that I got in the lot with the 80s Deli bucket, and I recently acquired a second version from another Buckethead collector. I paid about the same for this one, but at this point Buckethead stuff really is becoming collectible. It's on the rise thanks to my videos and the Mask Hunter collecting and Douglas Little starting to collect it, so definitely worth it to me. These just seem like an investment. Not that I ever want to get rid of them, but if I do, I know I could get way more money out of them than I paid. And I'd have to say that these 90s buckets are probably my favorite Buckethead bucket. Definitely prefer the one with the funeral sticker that's all haggard and beaten up and stuff. Unfortunately, these are so valuable that I didn't want to put a sticker on them. I just didn't trust that the adhesive wouldn't ruin the bucket if I ever chose to take the funeral sticker off, so I left both of mine blank. One of them goes on my full-size mannequin the way that I saw Buckethead back in 2016 when I went and saw him in concert for the first time. He had a pretty much brand new 90s KFC bucket with no sticker or anything on it, and I really dig that look, so when I set that up I knew that I had to track down another 90s KFC bucket just for my display. So that's why I have two of them. I got lucky, and not a lot of people can say that they own two of these things, so. Continuing the trend of duos, I have here two plain white buckets. These are not KFC buckets, but these are the original buckets that Buckethead used. After he got rid of his 90s KFC bucket, he went through a little phase there where he was rocking a plain white bucket, and still to this day he will rock one occasionally. But he started using this when he switched over to his little Michael Myers jumpsuit. Definitely a cool look. For some reason, that look in particular reminds me a lot of Michael Jackson. I don't know why. It's really strange, but he wore it for a while. It's pretty dope. I thought about making a little bust of that as well. Haven't committed to it yet. I mean, pretty much all I would need would be the bust and a wig, and I could do it, but I don't have room, and I haven't committed to it yet. So anyways, he did wear this with no sticker almost all of the time. In fact, the only time that I ever saw a funeral sticker on the white bucket was for the We Are One video with Surge, and I've referenced the banjo video a million times, but he totally fucking rips on a banjo, and it's like behind the scenes of that video shoot, and he's got that on. So when I built my original Buckethead bust, I was using a 90s KFC bucket, but I shortly switched it out after I got this and used the white with the funeral sticker on it, because I love that fucking banjo video. I could watch Buckethead play bass or banjo all day long, so that video really is a treat. And I love the yellow poncho look, so putting those together and doing a bust from that little banjo video just made sense to me. The Mask Hunter hooked me up with both of these, so unfortunately I don't know the name or the brand or anything, and honestly I don't care to ask, because if I can keep getting hooked up on these for not spilling the beans about what they are, I will absolutely do that. As you can see there on the front, we do have an original correct collar funeral sticker, so this is a pretty little piece, and I'm definitely stoked to own both of these, even though they're just white buckets. Next up, we have the oldest bucket in my collection. Buckethead actually didn't use this until the 2011 NAMM convention, or NAMM, however you guys pronounce it.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
He actually wore this with a yellow 83 Caesar, so I've actually done up a yellow Caesar for my little display in there. I'll show that off here at the end when I put all the buckets back. But yeah, this is like a 60s original KFC bucket. Still has the lid. This isn't a reproduction or a re-release or anything like that for collectors. This is all authentic. Never even had chicken in it. So this is definitely my oldest. I got it pretty recently on eBay. I won the auction for pretty cheap. There were some up for buy it now for like over $100, and I ended up paying like $50 for this. So I can't really complain about that one. And the little knob shelf looks cool, so I'm not upset about it. As far as I know, I've never seen any like live photos or videos of Buckethead wearing this. I'm pretty certain it was only for the NOM convention. And if there are any photos or videos out there, I've never seen them. If you guys have them, feel free to send them in to me, but I'm pretty certain that was just a one-off look. So. And last but definitely not least is one of my Grail buckets. This one took a lot of research to find, and then when I finally found it, I ended up getting fucked out of it. So I've only ever seen two of these. The one I own and the one that I bid on eBay that never did resurface for auction. Somebody bid me up way into like the 300s. You guys may have seen the video where I unboxed this and I talked about the actual auction itself. It's fucking horrible. I watched this bucket for a week, not do anything, and then finally during the last few hours it skyrocketed. Somebody was trying to outbid me, and then they ended up retracting their bid so that I would have to pay an outrageous price. But I ended up retracting my bid because my buddy the mask hunter said that he would just sell me his for way less than what I was going to pay for that one, and they got stuck with a $200-something bill. Didn't end up paying it, and then the seller never reposted it, so I'm not sure what happened to it, but that is the story. I was after this bucket hardcore because Buckethead only wore it once during a Japan show where he's absolutely fucking ripping. I mentioned it before in the unboxing. You can just tell that he's really happy to be in Japan, and it makes sense because Buckethead loves Japan. So while he's over there, he's just absolutely fucking destroying it, and once again, a one-off bucket. Never seen another video or picture of him wearing this at any other show. And like I said, I've only ever seen two of them aside from Bucketheads. Lord knows that thing's probably long gone by now. So another huge shout out to the mask hunter for hooking me up with this one. We agreed on a price and I paid the price, and he still didn't feel right charging me that much, so he actually refunded me quite a bit, which was super rad. And this is definitely one of my favorite buckets. Obviously the 90s buckets are my favorite look, but I'd say that as far as like rarity and value go, this one's probably the favorite in my collection. It's in perfect shape, still has the lid, all that good stuff. And yeah, I really dig it. So I do have other KFC buckets. I've got like a rare Star Wars one. I've got another random one that Bucket may or may not have used. I haven't confirmed it yet. Then I have some random ones from like current day and a few years ago. But nothing that actually has anything to do with Buckethead, so I'm not putting them in this video. I'm sure that you guys are bored out of your fucking mind by now. Anyways, if you've made it this far. And there are quite a few that I'm still after. Some of them I can't even find stock photos of on the KFC suppliers. There's a Kentucky grilled chicken one. It's like a mini bucket. It's super fucking sweet. Bucket had put it over one of his actual buckets during a show. I would love to find that thing. That would probably easily become my favorite bucket if I was able to track one of those down. And there's a couple other KFC mini buckets that he wore over his in 2012 during a live show. Can't find those anywhere. And there's a super score of a bucket out there. It is a KFC Christmas bucket, and it's pretty fucking old, and Buckethead wore that in one of his DVDs. I would love to find that one. So I'm on the hunt for all of those. If I can find them, obviously I'll make videos about them. There seems to be some actual competition for KFC collectors out there. Like there seems to be a KFC collector's market. I don't just think it's Buckethead guys, because aside from the buckets, if you just eBay KFC merch, KFC marketing, KFC signs, KFC buckets, stuff like that, all of that shit goes for a really decent price, and it all seems to sell. So even though me and a few other guys are turning people onto Buckethead, I still think that people are hesitant to spend the type of money that we do on these buckets, so I really don't think that it's Buckethead collectors that are going to be outbidding me or bidding me up on these buckets. I think that it's some old woman or old man that just sits on eBay that's retired and tries to score KFC stuff. So like I said, if I can find them, I will post videos. I should say if I can get them, I will definitely post videos, but it's between me and Henry in Kansas. So
special delivery.
Praise.
It looks like you're gonna hate it.
Yeah, it's really coffee-ish, huh?
Yeah.
So before I end this video, I am curious. I would like to know which bucket is your guys' favorite bucket. What's your favorite Buckethead look, like his actual bucket wearing, not anything else. I just want to know what bucket you guys prefer him to wear. I've got to go with the 90s KFC bucket. With or without the sticker, doesn't really matter, because when I saw him live, he didn't have the sticker and he just looked fresh and clean. So yeah, let me know down below in the comments what your guys' favorite Buckethead bucket is. And that will be it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you later.